All right, everybody, welcome back to the American Dota League. We've got EG versus Pain Gaming International here for a great day of Dota here for, of course, the American regions. Thanks for joining us, guys. My name is Mont. With me tonight is, of course, my friend NY John. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, and we got to see Evil Geniuses in action tonight against the Pain Gaming Int Squad. That was pretty impressive last night on the back of DDX's signature hero, the Invoker pick.
Yeah, and we'll see if we get to see that again. I mean, I'm not sure if they'll pick it up this time around. Evil Genius is a team where you kind of bring out the best in the opponents, I think, and of course, EG playing well at DreamHack Summer. Here they're back in the ADL and playing this game, of course. And we see the Batrider ban as well as the Nature's Prophet ban. Nature's Prophet, not surprised to see him banned out. One of the most picked, if not banned, heroes altogether. You can use him in a variety of different roles, but I do expect the IO ban. Darkseer as well, but IO maybe, or is it Gyrocopter for EG? Well, we're going to find out.
Could be either, really. And this is another game, I know I mentioned it last night. DDX plays a lot of OD as well. I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw him try and break out something like that. But you can go for the first pick, Lifestealer. A very solid opening tier draft. So they're going to play it safe off the bat. And Evil Geniuses with a couple responses here. Wouldn't be too surprised if it was a pair of supports going out.
Absolutely. They definitely love to get those supports early, like the Visage for the side of Fear. Maybe pick up a Kodal or Rubik as well. And need some sort of lockdown as well in that lane, so you got to keep that in mind. But EG, they do have two picks. The Lifestealer pickup from Pain Gaming International is slightly surprising just because it's kind of interesting now, I think. I think Lifestealer is definitely still a very, very good hero, but that Open Wounds nerf is kind of, I think, makes him, I guess, a little bit... Team's a little more hesitant to pick him up afterwards, but they're going to go with the Bane first, which is either played by Fear or Beataz on that 4 or 5 roll. And now what follows is going to be probably another support like you mentioned.
Yeah, and they can go for something like the Visage you said before. They can also go for a Leshrac here if they want to have a lot of extra pushing potential. It would be a little bit early for a Lesh pick, but I wouldn't be too concerned if they did opt for that. They're going to go for a purple team, though, instead. The Void and the Bane so far. So, interesting opening to pick up a Void at 2. Void works well against Lifestealer for obvious reasons. The Chronosphere is going to stop Lifestealer from doing anything. So, it's an interesting pick. They're valuing it really high right here, and Jo loves to farm a Void.
You said it correctly. I think Faceless Void is probably EG's kind of one of their go-to carries in terms of just getting the farm and just you have that Chronosphere, which of course goes through that magic immunity, which Lifestealer is all about with his rage, and so they just want to lock this guy down as quickly as possible, as early as possible. Just make it hard for Lifestealer to get around and just try to do damage, and especially with that Chronosphere, they're going to be doing a lot of kiting and a lot of killing as well. With the Visage pickup coming out from Pain Gaming International, and that here is freaking strong. Like Soul Assumption alone, and I say this a lot, but like. That nuke alone with the max charges, it hurts. Like, that is not good to have in lane if you're playing up against that. So that's going to be something EG has to watch out against as well.
Yeah, and I guess the thing I'm worrying about if I'm EG is just because the Faceless Void is not a good tri-lane versus tri-lane hero. So Pain Int are going to have the opportunity to try and bring that fight to EG. That being said, you can get out of most situations. You just can't really get things initiated in your favor. You're going to need a misstep on the side of the opponent to really turn the lane kill-wise for you. But Void, if he does get the later stages of the game and has his farm, he can be tremendous. And we also seen EG recently opt to put solo laner carries. So JO's usually on his own if they can in the safe lane. They throw out an aggressive tri-lane somewhere else to create space for that carry. So if they can do that, they can also work out well for Void.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jay is such a good farmer. He could do it alone. He could do it in a tri-lane, of course. Faceless Void, like you mentioned, not the best in a tri-lane, but still works well. We actually got through a lot of bans there. It was one of the quickest pick ban phases, and I'm not going to complain about that. But we see the Gyrocopter ban, of course, the Storm Spirit ban, and then the Wind Ray Protector ban, as well as the Enigma coming out from Pain Gaming International. Reserve time is going, and Evil Geniuses, they've got a bunch of different opportunities here, a bunch of different choices they need to make, whether they want to pick up midliner, another support, maybe a semi-carry. I mean, they can pick up literally anything at this point in time, but we'll have to wait and see what it's going to be. And they could go for another purple guy, so we'll see.
Clock is still available here, so I think that's a pretty valued pick on both teams, really. So I'd expect him to go in the next 4 picks just because he wasn't banned out and not picked already. And this is usually where he's been falling to if he doesn't get banned, is around that 3rd and 4th. So it's been interesting to see how the 6.78 new banning phase has kind of worked itself out where certain heroes are valued. And of course, the emphasis as of late for most teams has been on getting at least one of your supports in the first 2 picks. Other picks tend to vary, but it is cool to feel out the new structure.
Yeah, I like it. I personally like it. And right now, I'm going to make a prediction. EG loves to send Jo, or not Jo necessarily, but anybody pretty much on DK mid. They might do that right now. They're wasting a lot of reserve time here. I mean, it's going to be the clockwork, so your prediction was right this time around. It looks like I lose, sadly, but that's all right. There's still time.
Yes, I'm so good at this.
Yes.
Now I'm going to not guess pain so that it can't go against me, and I'm just going to sit on my clockwork victory and retire. But
Okay.
no, Evil Genius is getting that clock, of course. Bambo plays an aggressive clockwork like he plays every hero, and Clock is a hero that, if played properly, can take over games. We've seen it happen previously. Against the Lifestealer, being able to hold him down and focus him to attack a strength hero that's pretty beefy and really frustrating, it's nice because it creates better spacing for your team. Faceless Void can take down the supports if he needs to on the back end of the fight. Bane can get off a perfect Fiend script without having to worry about getting into the fray. So it really does set up their team fight well because you have the Clockwork Initiation, follow up with the Chronosphere Fiend script. Looks pretty good if things are going well early on. Meanwhile, for Pain Gaming in here, see if they want to complete their tri-lane by throwing another support into the mix. We haven't seen Shadow Demon banned out here. That would be one of the more prominent tri-lanes we've seen as of late, the Shadow Demon Visage Lifestealer, and it certainly is a warranted pickup because that tri-lane has a lot of potential defensive and offensive capabilities. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw that, but they can also go for a mid. I'd expect them to take a mid up with one of these 2 picks just because they don't want to get too far behind.
I'm going to agree with you, but I just want to go back to the Clockwork point, and you made it such a good point. Clockwork is just used so aggressively by Bambo, and that's just Bambo Dota right there. But you called it correctly there. You got 2 for 2, man. You're on a roll. And we see Shadow Demon coming out for Pain Gaming International, and that tri-lane is very, very potent. You do have that Soul Catcher, of course, amping up that damage of the Soul Assumption. So there's a lot of souls going around on the side of Pain Gaming International. I often get those confused from time to time when I'm casting. So hopefully I'll stay with it this time around, and it'll make sense. And boom, I got one. All right, it wasn't.
Got it. Oh, there it is.
He called the 3rd one in a row, killing spree for NY John. Jeez, you called that earlier. The OD.
I've been waiting for this DDX, and this is a horrible matchup now. Here's the thing: is like I thought maybe the OD wouldn't come out because Clockwork is good against OD for obvious reasons, and I'd imagine Faceless Void is as well. They have a lineup that can cope with an OD, but the lane is going to be horrible. Dragon Knight versus OD is so lopsided; it's ridiculous. So if they don't get rotations off early from these supports, and they don't even have a second support up now, so expect to see a support ban from Pain, this can go poorly early on for Evil Geniuses. And Dragon Knight's a hero that needs to at least get some farm middle lane, and then when a hero leaves the lane, he really has success then, but OD doesn't have to leave the lane. He's a hero that likes to stay and get his farm as well. So this is an awesome matchup for DDX, and I really want to see how this plays out. Evil Genius is going to have to figure out something here. Maybe a dual lane middle if they have to.
Yeah, that certainly could be interesting. We'll see how it does go. I mean, they do want to get DK some room to farm, and Our Devourer is just such a good hero, and I think people are starting to recognize how good he is. I think not only in laning stage, but of course later on into the game as well. Ban coming out from EG was the Magnus with only 2 seconds left in reserve time. The Chen coming out as well, and then EG's going to go ahead and pick up a Lich. Interestingly enough, they're going for that big combo with the Faceless Void Chronosphere, and then Mirana to finish it all off for Pain Gaming International, which we actually saw last night. I don't remember who played it, but I think it was actually EG who did. But we're going to jump into the game in just a moment, guys, so thanks for joining us here. Of course, on the side of American Dota League. Check us out at twitch.tv/American Dota League, as well as AmericanDotaLeague.com. And we're going to jump into the game real quick, so hold on tight. But thoughts on that Mirana pickup?
Mirana has pretty good synergy with OD if you can time it. Shadow Demon kind of messes with Mirana a little bit, but Open Wounds is in play as well. So you can get a couple things going well for the Mirana. It's a little bit of a riskier pick. I'm assuming this means they're going to go aggressive tri-lane and put the Mirana in the solo. If he's up against a Lich alone, then sure, she should do decent in that lane. And then it could pay off going towards the middle late game because you do have that huge disable. And the invisibility, if Mirana's not caught in the Chronosphere, can mitigate a lot of that ability overall.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how they do decide to play it out. But getting some introductions here real quick, we see Beta is up on the Bane for the side of Evil Geniuses. Demon's going to be going top right now for the DK. We'll see Fear mid with Lich Jayo's going to be mid as well in that Faceless Void, and you called it, kind of that dual lane mid, and then instead of throwing that DK there, they're going to throw, of course, the side of Jayo. And then finally, to round it all off, we see Bambo Dota up on the Clockwork. Meanwhile, on the side of Pain International, Xur2 with Shadow Demon. We see DDX on the Outworld Devourer TT on the Visage. Fullback's going to be on the Miranda looking for an arrow. It is barely going to miss. His beat has got disrupted, but just getting out in time. And then, of course, so let's see. TT on the Visage. Aftershock is going to be on the Lifestealer. I believe that is the lineup, but yeah, this is dual lane mid from the side of EG.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dual lane mid, and this is like an old-fashioned stomp lane. Like, you couldn't beat this combo back when Rasta was the most prominent solo middle. You'd throw up a carry and a Lich or a Crystal Maiden in middle, and you'd absolutely destroy him. But OD as a hero, he's not going to be too at risk of dying. He's just going to have to get his CS, and with this huge base damage, he should be able to get some, especially before Lich has his spammable nuke available. So in the first couple of minutes, it's going to be important to get a base established for himself and then continue to build off of that. The real battle is going to be at the top tri lane, because it's a 3 versus 2 now, and Pain's going to be able to realize that really early here. Considering Dragonite isn't that mobile early on the game, you have a Grave Chill, an Arrow, and a setup ability with the Disruption, so this could go really well for Pain if they're able to execute.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they can get the Soul Assumption going, if they can get the Disruption going as well from the side of that Shadow Demon, they might be doing okay. But now Xur2's actually rotating through to the mid lane here. I'm not sure if he wants to help out against this dual lane, if they want to just change things around and make it dual versus dual up in the top lane as well as dual versus dual mid. It's going to be very interesting. DDX is going to go ahead and use that Astral Imprisonment on Jayo. Looking at the CS right now, he is leading the way, but obviously, it's really going to come down to, the first set of kills as well as who can get the most CS throughout the game. Down to the bottom lane, solo versus solo. Bambo taking some damage, already salving up, as you can see. Other than that, though, I guess they just decided to go and just dual lane mid, and just kind of like they had pretty much a one lane against Demon. If Demon is just there with the side of Beat is. But
yeah. This is an overreaction from Pain, because there really isn't that much kill potential against OD at this stage of the game with a Faceless Void and Lich. And considering Lich is going to deny creeps, and now you're splitting experience of a denied wave between two heroes, it's going to not really be that beneficial to OD unless they can get kills, and it's not going to be that easy to get kills, especially this early on in the game, unless they catch Lich in a really bad position. So I think this is an overreaction from them, really. I'd rather have the OD get a little bit more experience and maybe lose a little CS in the process than split denied waves between two heroes and give an experience advantage to EG.
Right. And that's exactly what we're going to see happen here if this keeps going along, especially with the polling available for EG up in the top lane right now. Bambo's getting some decent last hits down here in the bottom lane as well. We see him, he's actually beating the Lifestealer 9-6 right now. So Aftershock not having the best time, Bambo just being Bambo, just playing his game. Jayo taking a little damage here in the mid lane right now. A lot of that coming from that Shadow Poison with Xur2. Looking for that rune. It is going to be top rune. It's going to be double damage, and it looks like he'll pick that up. He probably will pick up a bottle if he can get a kill or some CS as well. Demon up in the top lane, he's got 11 last hits. The Mirana actually doing well. Fullback has 12. Fullback a great farmer, I think, for Pain International. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Bambo and Aftershock just chasing each other around, but not a whole lot of action going on other than this middle lane. We could see something interesting open up soon, but other than that right now, I mean, in the mid lane, 12 CS going for Jayo, only 9 going for DDX, but Jayo I think needs a little bit more farm than DDX will. I mean, as an Outworld Devourer, you need some farm, yes, absolutely, but Jayo needs to get to a few different items to be really effective, I think.
It's kind of true. OD needs a lot of farm, but that being said, like the main problem is going to be that now this 2 versus 2 top, you can see 15 CS already for Dragonite. So Dragonite is doing really well, and they do miss an engage on him just then.
Oh, is that close?
Yeah, but if you're EG, you have 2 cores to fall back on, and they're doing well both lanes, and DDX in the middle lane is actually going to get jumped on a lucky stun. Oh no.
Now Jayo diving, and he looks for the tower, but the tower taking too much damage from him. Shadow Poison's going to go. It's going to hit up on Jayo. He's got 2 stacks on him. Maybe another stack can go. He actually doesn't have any mana left on that Shadow Demon, so Jayo should get away just fine. Really wanted that kill. Almost got it on DDX, but just dove a little too far. Jayo will survive, however. No first blood, but I guess that's the potential there with the the lucky stun coming out, of course, from that time lock on the side of the Faceless Void.
Yeah. The the sad part is they can astral one of themselves and then disrupt the other one, and both of them can just disappear from the lane for a couple seconds. Like, that would be pretty wild if they tried to initiate with like a chain
Bottom
frost
lane,
and both of them just disappear.
Bambo is definitely in some trouble right now. Xer2's chasing after him. The open wounds is on him from Aftershock right now. It's still getting chased. Aftershock a little bit quicker. Bambo trying to juke around the trees. Will do so just fine. Doing a nice job of it, but he needs to be able to get out. He's got cogs right now. Will use them, and that should be the end of the chase there. Now the Shadow Demon is coming back to pursue, but he's heading the wrong direction. And Bambo does make it out just in time. Barely, with about 25% health left down in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and this is the point of the game where if Bambo's carrying a TP, he can escape from Lifestealer. So expect him to start carrying TPs more often. Maybe get a bottle out here, considering middle lane, neither of those heroes are going to opt for a bottle, so he can get a little bit of rune control for himself if he gets lucky, and that would be nice for him as well. But my concern is still going to be top lane, 25 CS on this Dragon Knight, and then see the second best farmer is 22 on Faceless Void. So that rotation for the Shadow Demon middle is not really working out, as DDX is only 13 CS anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they really didn't accomplish a whole lot there. And I mean, Xer2 tried to go and rotate and get that kill on Bambo. It just didn't happen. I mean, it's kind of difficult when, I mean, you've got cogs going and you're pretty much inherently tanky on that clockwork. Bambo's still playing aggressively. He's going to use his last bottle charge there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, I think an Astral Imprisonment was going on the Faceless Void. Not a whole lot of mana left on him. That's not really surprising or anything. DDX is starting to play a little more aggressively. He's got 16 last hits, 18 for Aftershock down to the bottom lane. But EG is kind of leading the way in terms of farm right now, but other than that, not a whole lot going on in the map. I mean, if we check the graphs, it's still early on, 1,000 experience as well as 1,000 gold. More Astral Imprisonment, and of course the Ice Blast, or Frost Blast, excuse me, coming out from the Lich to do some more damage, but top lane, nothing really else going on right now, and Bambo is going to pick up that DD rune, but he's not level 6 yet, he's close to it, so we'll have to keep an eye on him down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, top lane, it looks like they're going to wrap for a gank here, so we'll see if they can actually cash in on kill and Visage maybe.
And Demon does have level 6 right now. He's got that ult for him. He's going to be able to use it. There it goes. Dragon Tail might go right now. TT taking some damage. There's the Nightmare. Beat is. Brain Sap as well. The Soul Assumption. That's first blood for Demon. Now, Starstorm going. Fullback. He doesn't have level 6. He's going to leap away. Can they get a stun? Doesn't have enough mana for it. Fullback will escape, but that is first blood and is going to go for Demon. Nicely done there up in that top lane, and you called it. They just wrapped right around, and that level 6 was available for Demon.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad for this middle lane because Xer2 is using Shadow Poison non-stop to try and proc this aura from OD, but he can't do it for the life of him for some reason. He's just having really bad luck, so he actually has to go back to base, and you can see both of them not in the middle lane now, and this has just been really frustrating. If you look at the lane matchups, every lane, the CS is in favor of EG right now, and with that first blood going on top, it's just looking like EG are winning outright. It's not decisive, and surely Pain will have an opportunity as we break out of the laning phase, but not how you want lanes to go. You want at least something to go your favor, and it could have been the top lane had they left that support up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was maybe the mistake early on right now. They can come back from this, absolutely. The problem being, like you said already, I mean, they're losing all 3 lanes here. I mean, Aftershock is getting beat by Clockwork somehow in terms of CS. He actually did just eclipse him, so never mind. He is starting to lead the way there, but of course, I mean, really, Bambo should have a tough time in that lane altogether, and especially when he gets that Orb of Venom on the Lifestealer. So, surprising enough that Bambo was doing so well down here that he was. But that being said, up in the top lane right now, fullback getting some room to farm. Looked for an arrow on Demon. Demon just avoided it, no problem. Bracer's done for him. He's going to go for Drum, which is his standard build, I think, on the Dragon Knight. Jo, he's got a Quelling Blade. He's got a Poor Man's Shield and Boots of Speed as well. On top of that, not sure what he's going to go for his next item. Jo likes to pick up Midas and Battle Fury, I think, and sometimes in conjunction with one another. Meanwhile, there are 3 heroes in here back up top, so the Shadow Demon has rotated, by the way. He is only level 3, so he's losing a lot in terms of experience. As you can see, mid lane, big dive going in on DDX as well. The Frost Blast is going to go. Jo doesn't have Chronosphere. He's still only level 5 right now. He already used his Time Walk as well. DDX juking pretty effectively right now. But that tree, that revealed him right there. And that's going to be a pickup there for the side of Fear. Meanwhile, in the top lane, in the bottom lane, looks like they got a kill on the side of the Lifestealer with Beatiz just using his Brain Sap, and Bambo, of course, using that hookshot as well. So just some nice kills going for EG, 3-0. Now in the top lane, still 3 heroes here, and they're not doing anything to Demon. Demon's alone, essentially. They have nobody here to back him up. The arrow's going to fly. Demon's going to avoid it again. And so EG is just avoiding all of the ganks, but also participating in their ganks and getting some kills as well.
Yeah, we're 9 minutes in. That was a long dive, and there was no TPs. I mean, there was a TP available from Visage, and he still did not to come in. So that's a little bit discouraging when your teammates aren't even available to respond to such a heavy dive. and at the same time not create anything happen top. There's no damage on the tower. There's no kill on Dragonite, not even close to a kill at that. So it really is looking like Pain Int are just falling off rapidly here around the 10-minute mark. They're going to try and smoke in middle and get something going onto Jo. Jo doesn't have enough mana for time walk quite yet, but he should have it up in a couple seconds. We'll see if he gets lucky here.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be very lucky. He has it up pretty much right now, but he's actually going to back off to the Tier 1 tower here. I mean, there's 4 heroes on the stand of Pain International right now, and it looks like they will try to jump on this for a second. No, Fear and Jo are just playing so far back right now. You can't blame them. I mean, you got to sense some danger here when you realize they're not up in that tri-lane. They're still backing off. The smoke has worn off here. Fullback's going to head out of there. Xertu's in the trees right now. He could have gone for a disruption, but he's still only level 3. Chronosphere is not available. Doesn't have enough mana to use it. And he just got that Hand of Midas, by the way, on Jo. Fear's up at level 5, so he's almost got Chain Frost. So if that Chrono goes and that Chain Frost goes, that could potentially be really dangerous for the side of Pain International. And, of course, looking at the CS now, 52 for Jo, 49 for Demon up in that top lane. So really looking good for EG right now.
Yeah, and this Shadow Demon's level 3. We're 10 and a half minutes in, and if you head over to your hero level chart, you can see that he's going to get one shot. They initiate.
DDX, he's in some trouble right now. The Chain Frost goes as well, and the Moonlight Shadow, but it's not going to be enough. That'll take him down. Jo picks up the kill there. That Chain Frost just to secure it with, of course, the Chronosphere on top of that. And I mean, they're going to keep doing that throughout the entirety of the game. And they're going to have to lock down one of those 2 heroes, and that's easier said than done. But, yeah, I mean... Yeah. They're just under-leveled right now. You talked about the Shadow Demon. He's not even level 4 yet, still level 3 like you said. And net worth, the top 3 in the net worth are, of course, on the side of EG. And they're, of course, all of the big heroes. Of course, the 1, the 2, and the 3. Down to the bottom lane now, Bambo chasing after Aftershock. He's going to pop his phase boots. Bambo canceling his hook shot right now. Now TP rotation's coming down to the bottom lane, and Aftershock wants to turn on this. Open wounds level 2, can't reach it. There are the cogs right now, but the arrow does hit. Bambo might be in some trouble, taking some right-click damage. The Shadow Poison going as well. Beat is not in the best position. Nice disruption going as well. Bambo still alive, but he will fall as Mirana picks up the kill with fullback now. There's the Astral Imprisonment. Bambo buys back. Beat has no mana right now. And that Clockwork hookshot in, he's going to pick up that kill, but Sanity's Eclipse going to grab Beataz down. Now the cogs going to go from Bambo. Bambo got 1 kill. He's going to get hit by an arrow right now. Will they chase? This is the question. They're trying to get in, but the cogs are doing a nice job, and they look like they might want to just back off here, just afraid of the rotations, which are coming from Fear, by the way. And Outworld Devour is still going. Meanwhile, Demon will take a tower up in the top lane as his actions are happening. And that's going to be it. And I mean... only Bambo will buy back to hookshot in and kill like a 20 HP Shadow Demon who's level 4 and then just walk out casually.
Yeah, I mean, it's your Clockwork and you had a good early game, so why not buy back, really? So, as he did come in and get a kill out of it, so it's a little bit more extra experience. He's already level 9, so he's tied with levels for everyone that was middle, which is really, really good for an offlaner. And you were talking before about Clockwork. I mean, at points he was up in CS. Right now he's down by 2. That is phenomenal. So anytime you're able to have a clock in that position, you know things are really going well. I would like to see OD maybe pick up an early level in the orb just to get some extra damage in these fights, but it really isn't that much yet. So I'm not sure that's going to be that big of a difference maker. I think they've just given too much of a lead up in the laning phase. And the other thing to keep in mind is, as Fear thinks about initiating on Mirana's not a hero that can come back well. I mean, she's a hero that has good ability damage, but if she falls off, she's gone.
Oh, and the hookshot coming in as well as the flare right now. The cogs miss a little bit. You can see Fear's waiting. He actually takes an arrow to the face unintentionally. Now there's going to be the Grave Chill on Bambo. The Familiar's coming in. Just going to do some damage onto Bambo right now. Fear's still roaming around. Meanwhile, Demon picking up a kill in the top lane. It looks like they use Fiend's Grip for that kill. Down back in the bottom lane. Chronosphere is going for jail. Moonlight Shadow, the Chain Frost doing some damage, but it chains the Familiars there who were just outside of it anyways. And Pain is going to be able to get away here with the Moonlight Shadow despite the Chain Frost doing significant damage. And EG, they're like, well, I guess, arrow avoided by everybody, but now open wounds on Bambo. Nice, cogs are going to come in. The stun, maybe they're looking for it. No, just trying to do some damage there. And so Pain, they get away from a pretty potentially bad gank, but they also lose a hero up in that top lane as well.
Yeah, but they're going on DDX now middle. If they can get a slow on and they might catch up. Nope, they're just going to back off a little bit as the Familiars do come in to slow them down. Beataz is behind the tower. He, of course, used his Fiend's Grip in that last gank that got a kill for Demon, I believe. And he's camping out here, looking for something. Maybe going to try and hunt some familiars as he does. Oh, brain sap, 100 gold for him.
One of those familiars just says, I'll just take that gold, that's fine. Then he leaves. No real danger staying there. They have, of course, that nice in between tower ward there, you can see. And another TP coming in, this time from fullback on the Mirana. Maybe looking for an arrow, which is still level 1, by the way, so not doing a whole lot of damage. Not that it really matters anyways. Stun's really the best part about that arrow, especially if you can hit it. But Jo now, no Chronosphere for another 48 seconds. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana anyways. Checking out the graphs, 5,000 experience, and almost about 6,000, 7,000 gold going to EG. The items you can see, the Midas for Jo, he's going to start getting good pretty soon. Fear comes in, just throws a nice little Frost Blast, but the rotations from the side of Pain Gaming, they're all here to help out. And Fear's going to be building that mech. Other than that, I'm surprised EG doesn't have more items right now. I guess something might be flying out. Shadow Blade actually to Demon. So there's that big item that we were looking for to start off with the game.
Yeah, and Fear's about as close to his mech as DDX is to his. So that about tells you how that middle lane went. And we do see a rotation. This is going to be, from here on out, pretty much all in attempts from Pain Int. I expect them to stay a little bit more bundled, try and get some odd man fights just to create anything as they go towards the bottom lane. They're going to try and stop this push on the tier 1. There are a couple of heroes down here, and Fiend's Grip will be available as well. They'll have a Change Frost in a couple seconds, so abilities are about to be up and ready. The question is, can Lifestealer deal enough damage to take down one or two, well, really one significant hero, whether it be the Dragon Knight or the Void in the middle of the fights? And these aren't heroes that are easy to take down either.
No, absolutely not. These are tanky heroes that we're talking about, and that's something that Pain's got to be worrying about here. Is now Fear's going to get initiated on. He's just going to go ahead and TP right out. Not even a problem. He's not going to get stunned there. So Fear making the smart play, realizing Aftershock, well, he's not quite at a Basher yet. In fact, he's quite a ways away from that if he wanted to go for it. Meanwhile, Demon pushing top. Xertu going to come in and disrupt, but there's no help here. So Xertu's alone. And Demon's like, alright, if you're going to do that, then I'm just going to just right-click you and maybe even Dragon Tail you. He's going to look for his Shadow Blade. Now the TP rotation is coming in. Demon can just walk away with this with his Shadow Blade right now. He's thinking about it. TT just trying to throw something down. He doesn't have any True Sight here. Outworld Devourer also cutting off his path, and now they will spot him out here. So Demon definitely in some trouble. There's the Astral Imprisonment. He's got, of course, that Shadow Blade in about 2 seconds. He's going to Dragon Tail. DDX in some trouble. Long-range hookshot from Bambo right now. There's the Sandus Eclipse. Demon taking a lot of damage, but of course, that OD is dead right now. Demon, Purge, but he's got the Shadow Blade. Now Xertu taking a lot of damage from the Battery Assault. He's going to go down. Double kill for Bambo. TT's getting chased. Demon might die this tower. Oh, he's going to Dragon Tail him back off right now. There's the Time Walk. Is he going to Chrono? He doesn't need to. The Chain Frost already went. And Lich is going to pick up that kill right now. Fullback TP's in, but he's too late right now. And everybody backing off from EG in style. That arrow will hit Chronosphere, but what are they going to do? Fullback's going to come and throw Starstorm down, but he's going to get Frost Blasted. He's got Leap, and he will leap away, but nope. Jo's going to Time Walk. There's the Chronosphere, and it actually hits on 2 as Aftershock had just TP'd in. Aftershock, now they're going to back off as EG, a long fight. The Familiar going with the Familiar stun. Fear definitely in some trouble. There's nothing Jo can do but watch, and so Fear will go down. Now the Astral Imprisonment, this time on Fear. And will they get the stun off or anything like that? Jo taking some damage. He can Time Walk away if necessary. Will do so down into the lower river. He's got a Perseverance on him, by the way. 1,000 gold. Meanwhile, Beat or Bambo, excuse me, they both come back in and help get some kills. Astral Imprisonment, or Outworld Devourer, looking for an Astral Imprisonment. Gonna get it on that Bane. Now there's gonna be a TP coming out, but Beat cannot get out of there in time. And there goes the Moonlight Shadow as well, so they will pick up 2 kills. Cog's going for Bambo just to make sure he gets out of there safely. And, well, they pick up, I guess, the Bane and the Lich, but they traded like 5 other heroes for Pain Gaming International, so not the best trade for them.
Yeah, that fight was really prolonged and ugly at times, but it ended up being probably decent for Pain, considering they were so far behind. So anytime they can get trades, they'll pat themselves on the back a little bit, but they're going to persist and try and push this tier 1 here. Actually looks like they're going to back him instead, which is the right decision.
Oh, Demon's just going to town.
Yep.
He's just going to town on Xertu right now in the bottom lane. He's taking a lot of damage, however. He has his Shadow Blade available. The Breathe Fire gets the kill. Now he needs the Shadow Blade away. Taking a lot of damage, looking for the kill on TT, but if he opens up, he'll probably die. Might go on DDX, but I think his time here is done. He needs to get out. He is going to go ahead and use that cover of the fog and TP away, but he gets a double kill before he gets it done. So nicely done. And like I said for the Faceless Void, if you're going to get farm, why not go for both the Hand of Midas and, of course, the Battle Fury? That's exactly what Jo's doing. So he has the crit. He's got, of course, the increased attack speed on top of the Hand of Midas usage. Or not the crit, the cleave. Did I say crit? I meant cleave.
Yeah, I'm not against it generally, but in a game like this, when you know you have a huge lead, I think something like a Maelstrom may be a little bit more beneficial because it gives you some better damage in team fights, especially since that more recent but not most recent buff to time lock damage if it procs inside of the ultimate and stuff like that. And we also see an arrow is going to fly out. It's going to try and attempt a hit on to Beatus, but it's not going to connect. And uphill look here from Pain Int, as they're going to try and engage and go against Chronosphere up as well as Bamboo ready with a hook shot. So this is going to be risky for Pain Int. EG don't have all their heroes here, though.
Yeah, and that was a smart play, though, coming out from TT. Using his familiars to scout out. They weren't ready to really initiate there. They wanted to get vision first, as you saw. But the flare coming out from Bamboo does spot all of those guys out, so they were ready to engage when necessary. And now it looks like they just want to go ahead and do Roshan. EG, they're pretty much set in terms of items and just terms of damage as well. And why not go for Roshan when you have this much map advantage? You've got, the wards up. They got the counter wards there. There's this one observer ward for the Radiant side of middle, but that's not going to really give you a whole lot there. But it looks like Pain International, they're just playing 5-man Dota at this point. They've been grouped together for the past 2 or 3 minutes here. But this does mean that this will be an Aegis going for either Demon or Jo, and it looks like it's going to go to Jo. So he's going to have Chronosphere, he's going to be alive for a long time, and it's going to be tough to kill him. He is level 12, behind level 13 for Demon, and Demon's been getting a lot of kills. 4-0-2 the score for Demon, as he's got 800 gold in the bank, and now they want to initiate bottom, it looks like, as well. There it goes, the hook shot going in an Aftershock right now. The Cog's going as well. The Moonlight Shadow coming in, but the Fiend's Grip, the Dust going to go as well. Aftershock in some trouble, taking more damage. Nice Astral Imprisonment from DDX. They have to back off there, getting stunned from the Familiars. Full back, oh, the Breathe Fire, just so much damage. Demon, Chronosphere onto 3. The Chain Frost is going to go as well. Xertu's in some trouble. DDX is in some trouble. Double kill for Demon. The Disruption going to save Xertu for the moment, but that's only how long he's going to survive. And a triple kill for Demon on that Dragon Knight. Now they're going to take the Tier 2 tower, and they're going to keep pushing it. 17-4 and 21 minutes in the game. 15,000 experience lead, 15,000 gold lead. EG, they're on their way to victory here.
That was really rough for DDX. He had like his left big toe in the Chronosphere and somehow got frozen by it. It looked like the rest of his body was clear of it. I mean, had he not gotten hit by it, nothing would have changed. But nonetheless, it's just not going their way. And this has been the problem for Pain Int in the ADL thus far. They've really struggled to find some consistency. They picked up a win last night against the Brazilian side. I think it was Insight. But today against EG, they just look like an inferior team. I think they have a lot of good key players in DDX and fullback at times, but they need to start playing a little bit better as a cohesive unit.
I agree. I agree completely. It's rough about DDX, man. He's just like, please God, no, here's the time walk, no. Meanwhile, Bambo is getting opened on as Aftershock's just trying to go to town. Chronosphere, no, not available, but just that, they just get scared of that, and Bambo's going to pick up a kill with the flare, excuse me. There's the Dust. TT's going to get Nightmare. DDX is stunned, as you can see, a long stun. Nice mech going to save the life, and the Familiar stuns as well. Demon getting slowed. He does not have that Aegis, by the way. It's on Jo, and Jo already backed off. He's actually going to town in Aftershock, and Fear will pick up that kill. Now Jo comes back down. Still no Chronosphere just yet. 13 seconds, and that's that Mask Mat. His hook shot from long range from Bambo. There's the Sanity Eclipse doing some damage. Double kill for Fear, by the way, and the bashes in DDX. Demon's on a monster kill. 3 down now on the side of Pain Int. Raxes are going to go down as well, and that's pretty much as good as it gets for EG, and probably going to be GG as well on top of that.
Yeah, and I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure EG is undefeated in the ADL right now. I don't know if you know. Offhand. Yeah, they're undefeated. This is going to be their 7th win, so they really have been on point in this competition, and it just goes to speak about what kind of team they are. They're a team that beats the teams they're supposed to beat, and they always have, really. They play consistently in the games that they're supposed to win, and then sometimes they struggle against the steeper competition, but they're just overall a very consistent team, and they prove it yet again here with a nice victory. Despite some pretty good picks coming out from Pain Int, maybe the Murano's questionable, but other than that, their lineup looked really solid.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you, and I think we talked about it earlier when they did that early lane transition with that Shadow Demon. That kind of spelled doom, and you could see it in the scorecard here. Shadow Demon with 7 deaths. He was a big target. Xertu was very, 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 very squishy. But with that being said, we are going to jump to the next game. I believe it is Team Liquid versus Arctic Gaming. So hang on tight, guys. We're going to jump into the next game. Of course, you can follow us if you enjoy the cast. With me tonight is NY John. You can follow him at twitter.com/NYJohnTV. John, any shoutouts or anything else?
Shout out to the ADL. Be sure to pick up a ticket for only $5. It's definitely worth a while.
Absolutely. And of course, if you enjoyed my casting, my name is Mont. You can follow me at twitter.com/MontDota2. Definitely check us out at twitch.tv/American Dota League and AmericanDotaLeague.com. We'll be right back into the next game. Hang on tight, guys.